brisk day in January after the election and after the inauguration in 2025, and I'm surprised. Oh yeah, let me introduce myself. This is Justice for Blacks in America. You know what I mean? And this whole channel was created for justice for Black people in America, because we have been the ones that's been overlooked for years, and we've had no justice, we've had no peace, we had no due process, we had no wealth distributed to us. So that's why this channel was created. So let's begin with the lawsuits that came about from Trump ending birthright citizenship. And they're saying, oh, he can't end birthright citizenship just with a stroke of a pen. But if it doesn't get rejected by the courts, then it can't become law. Then it can't become, effective 30 days from now, and then it'll have to go through Congress and the House. And then I'm pretty sure that since Trump kept his word and he came through the door day one doing what he had to do, and helping special interest groups, that this bill will get passed, because he's a billionaire. So he, if anybody would be affected by immigrants' laws, it would be him. Especially with him working in construction because of his Trump developments. So they definitely would be dependent on illegal immigrants, and he's willing to put his business endeavors on hold as a result. So with that being said, just going back and forth with certain people, they're saying that birthright citizenship is a 14th Amendment birthright, and it's only a birthright for certain people. And the part about the 14th Amendment, there's some tricky language in it that says subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So you can take that either way. You can take it like they're subjects of that jurisdiction, which means they're legally citizens of that jurisdiction, or they're subject to the laws of that jurisdiction. If you're subject to deportation, then you're not subject to the laws. I mean, you're subject to the laws by default because you're here illegally. But if if you're subject to deportation, then you're not a citizen of that jurisdiction, or actually subject to that jurisdiction, because you're subject to another jurisdiction. So, so people are gonna try to use Wong Kim Ark, who was an Asian Chinese American from his parents were from China, but they became permanent legal citizens over here, permanent residences. So the court can't use Wong Kim Ark to support illegal immigration, but it could support it for legal immigration. So, in my opinion, I'm not a legal expert, and I don't know the law. I can't interpret the law, but under my opinion, Wong Kim Ark, since he had parents here legally, by default he became a citizen. So, Trump has labeled immigrants pretty much a threat to our democracy. So now they're pretty much considered terrorists and enemies. And by him using that type of language, it's going to be kind of hard to fight against that, because how are they terrorists and how are they a detriment to our economy? Because they're taking jobs from Americans. They're taking construction jobs. 18-year-olds out of high school can't compete with grown men coming from, say, Mexico, who's already skilled in drywall. An 18-year-old can't compete with a 32-year-old coming over here already skilled, and an unskilled 18-year-old cannot compete with a skilled 32-year-old concrete layer or concrete pour or foundation pour. You can't compete. So by default, the concrete pour that's an illegal immigrant that's skilled is going to be more attractive than an 18-year-old unskilled person. So now what that's doing is putting this 18-year-old at a disadvantage. That's one way it's a detriment. Then once they become citizens become citizens by being here illegally, now they get to drain the country of resources. They get to drain federal resources such as Section 8, food stamps, Medicaid, and all those different resources. Get welfare checks, transportation. They get all these wonderful benefits that they're not putting into the system. The system wasn't designed to give it away to people that didn't put it into the system. And when they say put in the system is from their parents. You know what I mean? Their parents had them put in the system. So these 32-year-olds that's having kids, they were supposed to have been put in the system for 16 years, and they didn't. Or even if it was 2 or 3 years, they didn't. They're just coming in grabbing benefits that don't belong to them. So that's how they're a detriment to the economy. And then they're here as a detriment because they're showing lawlessness. They're not waiting for the due process. They're here illegally. So when you illegally break the law, you're saying that your situation is bigger and you don't have to wait for due process. That's how they're a detriment to the country. They're paying drug cartels to smuggle them into the country, and then the drug cartels are labeled terrorists now. So they're working with terrorists to get inside the country, which is illegal. So just all around, it's not a good situation for Americans. So in my opinion, and I'm not a legal expert, that birthright citizenship should get struck down, and the only way I can see it not getting struck down is if the judges have personal interests. Legally, they don't stand a chance, but if judges have personal interests, then they would do the wrong thing, and they would get challenged and they get exposed. That's what's supposed to happen. Trump, when he became president-elect, they put together a comprehensive plan, and I will say I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the plan that they put together, because they came through with smoking guns blazing. They got damn Letitia James to bow down and kiss the ring. There's all types of stuff. So where would this go? I think birthright citizenship to anchor babies is about to be a thing of the past. And some of the things that I pretty much called out, I sent to Donald Trump personally, and it's looking like he actually read some of my stuff. And if you just hear me talking, you'll pick up on some of the stuff that they actually implemented that I talk about. All right, we'll see how it happens, how it goes today in court in 3 different states, and hopefully the judges do the right thing and get rid of birthright citizenship, because the birthright citizenship was made for slaves who were lawfully in the country, because we were drug across the ocean against our own will, and then they didn't want to do the right thing by giving us citizenship after they freed us. They try to make our life miserable so we go crawling back to the plantations. So the plan was for us, and I take the civil rights movement personally because it affected my ancestors, and I don't expect for anybody coming over here illegally, willfully, to bootstrap off a legacy of my family and ancestors because they're fleeing their country and they don't have the cojones to build up their own country. We didn't have a choice. We were slaves. We were forced to build this country. They come over here illegally and try to use our legacy to their advantage without paying homage, without contributing to our legacy. They don't come over here with special interest groups supporting Black American causes. Illegals don't come over here supporting us, so why are you using our legacy? Strip them of their birthright citizenship, and on their birth certificates put illegal citizen. Illegal citizen. All right, signing out. Justice for blacks.